Good afternoon, my fellow shoe enthusiast. I hope that you're ready to bring back that shine to your shoes because I know that I am. So, to start us off, when I first started collecting and buying shoes, I wanted to start taking care of them better and making them cleaner. I wanted to keep the life of the shoes. So, I think back to when I bought my first pair of expensive shoes. I bought them off a local friend from my school, and we had a little bit of a disagreement between the price. He wanted $260 out of the shoes, and I wanted to pay $240. So he decided we do a coin flip, and he flipped a coin. I called heads, and I won the coin flip. He had said it was his first time he had lost in months, so I was happy there, and I was excited, and I got home and realized the shoes were not as advertised as what was shown in the pictures. So there were dirt stains on the body of the shoe itself, and then the soles. Each shoe on the bottom has a sole, which some soles have a upper layer to them, and on this certain pair of shoes it's called the boost, which I will touch on later in the video. So they have a boost, and this boost is supposed to be white, and this boost was starting to turn brown, a dark brown to say the least. So that needed cleaned. So I went to the local dollar store of mine in my town, and I got a soft bristle brush and a sponge with a hard side to it, kind of like a SOS pad, so to say, doing dishes. And I got home, I got a bowl, got my mixture with water and stain remover, and began scrubbing the shoes. And by the time I had realized what it was doing to the shoes, I was already done. It had started to thread itself from the sponge itself. It started to take the threads out of it and go into the shoes. And the blue dye from the sponge had started to also go onto the shoes. So it was kind of a wreck in a sense there, and overall a tragedy for the shoes. So this led me into the 4 best ways to clean shoes and keep the life of shoes. So the first step you are going to want to do is strip the shoes down. You're going to take each lace out of the shoe. You're going to make sure you want to have towels as well, because it can get messy and you are working with water and stain remover. So it can get messy. Plus you need to dry the shoes as you are going through the steps with the towel. And lastly, you're going to want to have a table or a stand of some sort to clean the shoes on while you're working on each shoes. Also, you need a brush, either a sponge, a toothbrush, or a soft bristle brush. And then on to the next step. Step 2, you are going to scrub thoroughly with mix, stain remover of your choice. You're going to hit all areas equally of the shoes. Some parts of the shoes might need more where there's stains, but be cautious on each shoe because, as I learned from above, it started to frizz the shoes up and threads got into the shoes because they were a nice cloth material, and it kind of ruined it there. So be cautious with each shoe itself and know what kind of material and brush you should be using on each kind of shoe. And then you're going to hit all areas equally. Like I said, some might have a worse stain. You might need to use a harder level of force. Just like this pair right here. This pair has a stain right up top on the toe. It's a kind of darker black. And you're going to scrub and scrub until that stain comes out. And if not, switch up the brush from a toothbrush to a soft bristle brush, which is kind of bigger and hits the area a little bit more with more force. And then also on this certain pair of shoe right here, there's rocks that is in the crevices of each of these shoes, and you're going to use a toothpick to get some of this stuff out. As shown right there, there is a piece of gum in these shoes, so I'm going to use that to get stuff like that out. On to the next step, you're going to get a designated shoe bag, preferably cloth because it's easier on the shoes itself, and your washer, and you're going to let the washer do the work for you. And you might want to add a little bit of bleach depending on the shoes now if they're white, and if they're not, be cautious because it could change the color, but with an equal amount of stain remover and bleach. And for the final step, you're going to let the shoes air dry, not put them in the dryer, because this is to better the shoes, keep the life, and keep them cleaner. And putting them in the dryer causes them to have wrinkles, and it can damage the shoe and also shrink the shoes. So that is a definite no. Do not put the shoes in the dryer. If you have a newer dryer, they have an air drying mode on most, which is what I use now. Instead of the fan, which was slower, the air dryer in the drying machine itself does it faster and gets the shoes good to go. So after that, you want to put some drying sheets in the shoes to help them smell clean and overall refreshing. Out of all the shoes I've owned, there was a certain pair of Yeezys that stood out to the most. I had got them off of another person again, and they weren't as advertised as before, so they needed work. So I ran through all my steps to get the stains that was on the body of these shoes out, and there were stains on the bottom. And I had ran through all my steps, and they turned out to be fabulous. They had looked at this, they just came off the shelf, and they're still one of my favorite pairs today. They turned out great. They're reflective, and yeah, I had taught myself the 4 best ways to clean shoes and keep the life of them. Thank you.